Make some scrappy pattern weights with me today. So basically you're going to cut a rectangle. The larger the rectangle, the larger the pattern weight is going to be. I'm doing a pretty small one here. Smaller ones require smaller seams and are going to be a little bit trickier to do, but if you want to make them larger, you can make it a lot easier on yourself. So I'm just using some scrap fabric that I have, trying to bust all the scraps that I have in my collection. And this is a linen, any woven would work. I probably wouldn't do it with any kind of stretch or jersey or anything like that, just because it would probably not hold up to wear and tear in your sewing room. But once you get it cut to size, then you're going to want to make sure that you match up by folding them in half, right sides together. And once you get all of those put right sides together, then you are going to head on over to the sewing machine and we are going to stitch an L. So one whole side will be open still whenever we get done stitching this. So I'm using a 1/8 seam allowance on this, just the thickness of the presser foot with it all the way over to the right. And I'm just catching that last little bit of fabric that's left between the needle and the edge of the presser foot because I made these so small. And then you're going to want to flip them and cut the corners, flip them inside out. Feel free to use a tool or whatever to get your points really pushed out. I use a chopstick personally. And once we have those done, then we are going to be pressing, turn them inside out, and we're going to press the seams in because we're going to have to stitch that last line where we want the fabric going into the pocket of the material. And this part can be extremely fiddly, especially if you're making small weights like mine. So you might want to press it or pin it. Because the seam allowance is so small, I ended up pressing these so that they would stay open. And then you're just gonna fill them all up with rice, beans, rocks, polyfill, whatever you want. I had rice on hand, so that's what I used. If you like scrappy projects like this or are interested in other slow living tips, tricks, gardening, please visit me on my website at www.fibermaiden.com or anywhere on the internet at fibermaiden. If you prefer short form videos, I also have videos on TikTok and you can catch me on Pinterest as well. Once we have all of these filled, we are going to take them back to the sewing machine and we're just going to stitch up that last line that we left open. And if you notice, I'm actually folding it in half, not along the natural seam line, but on the opposite direction. And that's because it's going to make a really nice triangle shape. I'm just matching up the seams on the top and then pinning it so that the rice doesn't fall out whenever I'm doing this. So here we are back at the sewing machine, 1/8 seam allowances again, and we're just going very quickly front and back, locking that stitch in, and then we're following that line, just locking those seams inside of the pocket of the fabric. And there you have it. I mean, that's pretty much it. You have your fabric pattern weights made using scrap fabric at home, and it's a great way to bust your stash collection. Thank you so much, and I hope you guys have a great day.